I thought we were going to get away with it. It was looking good. It was looking like it wasn't going to freeze, but then it did. Good afternoon, good morning, happy whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, right here in Redcar on the northeast Yorkshire coast of good old England. It is beer o'clock. Cheers, everyone. And back to the usual poison this week. It is the Heineken. Indeed, yes. I've been waiting for that one, has to be said. So, it's, yes, there was an election yesterday, wasn't there? And if you are heartily sick to the back teeth of hearing stuffed shirts talking about matters of a political persuasion, then think of this as your little sanctuary from it all, because we ain't going to be talking about, well, I'm not going to be talking about this. I'm up to here with it. It's, as my old fella always used to say, it doesn't matter who you vote for, the bloody government always gets in. So, yes, a politics-free zone. Not that I didn't go out and do my civic duty and put a little cross on a ballot paper. I did, but I'm not going to share. That's between me and the ballot box, so we're not going to kind of get into that. I just don't. Basically, it's such a divisive topic these days, isn't it? Gone are the days when you could be really good friends with somebody who held views that you were diametrically opposed to yours, and it just seems to be, a very good way of, kind of dividing a crowd, just to sort of start spouting that, spouting what you kind of think on these issues. Certain people will agree with you, and other people just go, right, I'm not watching that bugger ever again. So, we're going to keep it purely neutral. Well, I am anyway. You talk about what you want in the chat, but I'm not going to be saying anything about it. But let's talk about the chat. Let's see who is or was first in who's teacher's pet this week. It's Mark Colonel, and then we've got Dave Fiendish, Terry Day, Peter Nicholson, Relaxing Meditation, Stuart Young, Rent to Kill, Anton, Ian Mason, David James Timbo, and there's Craig Stamen, and Autogeddon 1, there's Dave Lewis, Balder 64, Ben Allmark is in, so is Grandpa Joe, saying greetings, John, and all joining today. Wishing everyone a happy and safe weekend. A great place to start the weekend is here with all you fellow Fattercasters. Cheers. Well, that's a lovely thing to say, John. You're in New York City, and I'm imagining it's a little bit early in the day for you to be cracking open the beer. There's only really one day a year when you can sort of, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, you can start unpeeling a can or two, and that's Christmas Day. It's the only day of the year you don't get judged for it, isn't it? Then we've got PFY Guitars, Stephen Hedger, John Ross, Malcolm Thompson, and there's Peter Nicholson. Johnny Random is in, so is Tom Clark and Paul Trainer. And who else have we got? We've got Nathan, and we've got Malcolm Spillett saying, don't know what time we got to bed, but it was broad daylight, nothing to do with politics. Just had a minor medical emergency at 3 a.m. It was dealt with promptly by the NHS. Well, that's good to know, mate. It's nice to know that. I've got to tell you, I mean, I had that kind of little visit from the cancer fairy a few years ago, and my local hospital were absolutely, on the ball with that. And again, with this finger injury, I've got no complaints, but, I know a lot of people do. Paul Trainer, thank you very much, sir. That is very much appreciated. Who else we got? We've got Cylon Hybrid. We've got Tony Tompkinson. We've got Jamal123. We've got Moto Takahe. We've got Joe McMurray and Deco Dude. And there's Sean House and Frank Bolam, Eric Luttinger, Ian Clark. A lot of people saying, Ian Clark saying, Home in time to join the live stream here in soggy Sussex. It's been beautiful sunshine up here in Redcar. It's been deceptive because you wouldn't want to go out without a jacket on, but it's at least it looks like summer, even if it doesn't feel like it. There's Dr. Gomez 1, and who else have we got? We got Michael Purcell, 60s man, David Evans, and Colin Falcon is there as well. And the chat's just jumped. Where's it gone? I've lost my thread. I hate it when this happens. Oh, there we go. We got Robert Forsyth. We got Gary Shaw. Nice to see you, mate. And scrolling further down, I can see we got Jimmy James and Johnny D. There's Thomas Mulvaney and Pablo Hank in there as well. Cal Texper, beg your pardon. Nice to see you, mate. And Mickey Walnuts, who won't be here long. He's just about to start the evening service at Silverstone. Okay. There's William Forrest. Peter S. is in, and so is Jeff Benner, Martin Scholes, or is it Scholes? Not sure. You'll correct me. Peter Goddard is in, so is Savvy64, Calby and the Rocco Cat, Steve McD, Brad Dowell, Neil Roberts is there, Steve Cassidy. Just don't forget Steve's video straight after mine, after this live stream. Watch your live stream earlier on today, Steve. When I was I listened to it more than watched it. I had it on the TV in the living room while I was in the kitchen cooking up a fresh batch of curry, and very entertaining it was, mate. Can't wait for you to get that guitar back from Agrajag and see what you think of the stainless steel fret. Then who else we've got? We've got Strumming Roman, we've got Peter Collins and Anton. I've said you already, haven't I? And who else we've got? We've got Jay Aoyong and Michael Purcell. Anyone else? I think that might be just about it. General Lee is in. Nice to see you, mate. Muggs Davis is in. And anyone else have I missed? I don't want to miss anybody. I inevitably always do. We got Robbie Stingle. Nice one, mate. And there's Jerry White. Chris Otterwell is there. He's off to the pub. There's Jed Ellis and anyone else? John Channing, Stevie Mack, Sean House, and I think that's pretty much everyone. Apologies if I've missed you. Curtis Lee, Rob Garlicky, or is it Garlicky? I'm not sure. Again, you'll correct me, I'm sure. And Ravensmead, and I do believe that Bumcrack Watch Company. Okay. Some of the kind of handles you guys go by, honestly, So we're all gathered here again for a Friday evening's worth of talking nonsense and drinking beer. Is there anything better to do on a Friday? I ask myself. I can't think of anything. That one, ladies and gentlemen, did not touch the sides. So let's just recharge the glass and get it. The first pour there, you didn't see it because I poured it before we went live. It was a bit lively, so this might be a bit of a flake. Everybody get ready to type the the magic word flake. Yes, there we go. It's not bad. I can live with that. That's not a bad pour at all, is it? Mickey Walnuts. Didn't mean to be a bleak, John. Should have explained properly. I'm catering at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix food services 5 to 10. I gather that's what you meant, mate. It's evening service can mean usually some kind of ecclesiastical event, or what was it Father Jack had to say? That would be an ecumenical matter. I'll be watching an episode or two of that later, no doubt. It's either some sort of, as I say, ecclesiastical gathering, or it's some kind of catering thing. And Silverstone service, I'm thinking, yeah, he's probably doing the grub at the Grand Prix, and I was right. Rob Garlick, he answers to both. Nice one, mate. Glad I didn't get it wrong. Rent to Kill saying, how's the lovely Dougal? He's been a good lad today, actually. I've had a lot of work to get through today. Sitting downstairs with my laptop because basically I've got an announcement to make. We might as well just segue straight into that. The book that I wrote last year, the rocket, what is it? Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist. I almost forgot the title of my own book. Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist. It went down really well, and it's sold really well. I'm very, very pleased with it. And I said that I would be doing a follow-up, and it's called The Blues Guitar Bible. It currently stands at 82 pages of A4 text, which if you kind of put that into like a normal, like what I would think of as a normal book size, something like that. Can't tell you how many times I've read this book. Then I'm guessing probably 82 pages of A4 would probably be maybe, a couple of hundred pages of that sort of size book. Countless pages of tab, loads of video content, loads of jam tracks and all the stuff that, kind of tends to accompany the YouTube videos that I put up on Patreon. It's the Blues Guitar Bible, and it's pretty much everything I know about playing blues guitar, playing blues rhythm guitar, playing blues lead guitar, pentatonic scales and chord notes and all of that sort of stuff. And even some of the, dare I say it, jazzier end of the spectrum, but it's like covering sort of Robin Ford, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Freddie King, Clapton, Peter Green, all those kind of styles of blues guitar playing are all in this book and broken down and explained, and with loads of solos and tabs and jam tracks to accompany them. Well, I've got to tell you, folks, the text of the book, the heavy lifting, as it were, is done. It is finished. It is complete, and I've proofread it, and it's just there and finished and done. Nailed down, boxed off, complete. All of the video content is done. All of the, the kind of click here to see me playing the solo or whatever, all that sort of stuff is done. All of the backing tracks that will accompany the book, they are done. All I've got left to do now is finish off doing the tabs. So I'm just currently working my way through doing all of the tabs, as usual, in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats. And as soon as they're done, which I'm thinking, if I can just get my head down and crack on with those in between doing all the usual YouTube stuff and guitar lessons and Patreon stuff, then it's going to be ready, I would say, back end of August at the latest. I would say probably earlier. Don't quote me on that because I don't know. Things happen. Life gets in the way sometimes, but that is what I'm aiming for, and it will be on sale. Budget Pedal Chap is saying, how much for the new book? It's probably going to be, well, when I tell you the price, you're probably going to think that much for a book, but think of it as a good year's worth of guitar lessons. It's probably going to be around the £60, £60 to £70 mark. I haven't, what I need to do first of all is to find out whether it's VAT exempt, because the last book I thought was going to be VAT exempt, but because of the amount of audio visual stuff that was kind of bundled in with it, it was a bit of a grey area. It was, and the last thing I want is to kind of put it on sale and then get the tax man coming. You owe us some money, the VAT on this book. So I've got that sort of stuff to figure out. I'm probably going to have to enlist somebody with an expert knowledge on this rather than just doing what I did last time and Googling it and not getting much clarity. I'm probably going to have to pay for somebody to say, is it or isn't it? But that will determine the final price. But that's the kind of ballpark figure I'm thinking of. Uh, what we saying there? Strumming Ronin. I've dropped alcohol for losing the fluff. Worth it for health reasons. Not that energy drinks is healthy at lol. Yes, well, when I had me bad back, by the way, I had that sciatica, which did not hang around. It's pretty much gone now, by the way. Thank you. I'm well, not in any pain at all, and if I go out for a longish walk, then I kind of know about it. When I get back, I get a little bit of a twinge, but that's about it. And if that's what I'm going to settle for, then I'll settle for that. But when I was at the depths of despair with it, when I was like, you're just kind of gnashing me teeth and banging me fist on the table, shouting, obscenities at the trapped nerve. It was the doctor actually offered me some painkillers that would absolutely take the pain away. Not yet. You'll get a good night's sleep with these, and the only thing is, though, you won't be able to drink. I said, yeah, let me think about that. So, yes, Michael Purcell, there will be a discount for Patreon users. That is my way of just saying thank you and giving a little bit back. So definitely, Ian Clark saying you should stop calling it a book. It's really a course with a book. I suppose it is. But it's being an avid, I suppose it's a little bit of an ego trip for me, really, being an avid reader all of my life. I could happily live without a television, just no problem at all. The wife, on the other hand, that would be, that'd end up in the divorce courts if we didn't have a television. You can take many things from my wife, but you can't take a Coronation Street away from it or a Strictly Come Dancing. But the one form of entertainment that I just could never, ever do without is it is a good book. Ravensmead, is the book printed or do you just download it? Where? Amazon. It's not printed because there are links that you need to click on in the book to access the extra content. It's going to be a PDF, and I have this platform that I use to distribute digital downloads called Payhip, Payhip. It's a bit like sort of Etsy, but for digital downloads. And I should look into getting it on Amazon, actually, self-publishing on Amazon. I'm not sure of the... maybe that's something else I need to look into, in my spare time. But, yeah, it's... I think the reason I call it a book is because I've always loved reading, and the idea of, me having a book that I've written, it kind of, it makes me sort of, I can, when you're filling in when you're filling in a some kind of official form or anything, it gets to the bit where it says occupation. It's just nice to be able to write musician and author. Do you know what I mean? So. Dave Lewis, are you allowed to use the word Bible if it's not religious? Don't see why not, because the word Bible itself is derived from the Latin meaning book, which is why when you read a reference book, there'll be a bibliography in there telling you, the sources of information, the books that have provided the information for that book. So that the word Bible just literally is. I don't think it's actually Latin or ancient Greek for book, but it's derived from the same root. Jimmy James says, really needs index with links. I've taken that on board after, critiques from the last book, a table of contents that you can click on. That is definitely going to be in this book. I just need to figure out how to do it in Google Docs, basically, which is where I'm writing the book. It's for just how things evolve. When I first got a computer back all those 20 odd years ago, I kind of started using. Does anyone remember Lotus Word Pro? That was the first, word processor that I got, and then everybody went over to Microsoft Word, and then, there's this free thing called OpenOffice, which does exactly the same as Microsoft Word. And now I just use Google Docs. Budget pedal chap, go for the Blues Bibli if anybody gets precious. Jay Aoyong, indeed, a bibliothèque means library in French. I didn't know that, and I did French at school, but that was obviously a very, very long time ago. Jamal has got author on his passport. Fair enough, mate. A big discussion going on in the chat about soaps. My missus, she watches Coronation Street, EastEnders. She doesn't bother with Emmerdale. And what else is she watching at the moment? She's just, we both of us somehow managed to miss that televisual phenomenon that was 24, with Kiefer Sutherland. She's been binge watching that. What she does, the way we live is like, I'm in here all day doing guitar lessons, making YouTube videos, tabbing stuff out, that sort of stuff, from about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till about 8 on a night. And she's downstairs, and she's just sat with like a little table in front of her. One of those, those kind of tables that fit across your knee. She's got one of those. She's got all of the jewellery making stuff out, and gemstones here, and kind of silver bits and pieces over there. And she's making the jewellery that she sells on the market, which is where she's been today, and she's going to be out there tomorrow as well, with a stall. So while she's doing that, she's downstairs and she's watching things like, as I say, 24, binge watching that. And she's now currently hooked on some TV kind of reality show thing called Traitors. It's got what's her name in it? Is it Davina McCall or Claudia what's her name? I always get them two mixed up because they're pretty much interchangeable, aren't they? And it's I understand. It's just basically people. It's Big Brother. Basically, it's that kind of thing by the looks of it. Ravensmead is saying, "What's in the GAC box?" Do you want to spoil it? I haven't told you what's coming up on the channel this week, have I? Yet. I'll have to get into that. Well, I've got massively sidetracked today, which usually means that the stream's going well. What was in the GAC box was. Here's a spoiler for what's coming up on the channel. If I just hold the headstock up there, yeah. Does the head any ideas what guitar I've got here, going by the headstock? And here we go. Here, I'll show you. Here it is. It's one of those little Ibanez kind of micro PGM micros. This guitar has been donated to go to Zoe's place, and I'm making a couple of videos with it as it's passing through. The videos for this will be up in, I think, either later this month or early on in August. So that was what was in the GAC box. Budget Pedal Chap is saying, how have I had this stream on for 20 minutes and not even noticed the GAC box? it's this, isn't it? Oh, and I'm back in focus. There we go. Right, I better tell you what's coming up on the, where's the Carla? So, yeah, there isn't one on this guitar, thankfully. I'll tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday, a very, very, very special Telecaster that was loaned to me to do a video with. And spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you, this is probably the best sounding Telecaster I've ever played. It was just an absolute joy to play this guitar, and it surprised me how much I liked it. So basically, I've done a lot of Telecaster stuff on Sundays recently, haven't I? But that's one of them. Or have I just recorded them? They haven't gone out yet. Anyway, it's a posh Telecaster we're looking out. Ben Allmark is saying, out of curiosity, whereabouts in Canada is the missus from? She's from a little town called Oakville, which is just around on the outskirts of Toronto. Yes, so that's where she's from. Anyway, posh Telecaster review on Sunday. Then Monday's solo analysis. I haven't done any Gary Moore in a while, have I? Well, we're going to put that right on Monday. A Gary Moore solo analysis. Then Tuesday, the results of the Partscaster beauty pageant. All of you good people have sent in pictures of the Partscasters that you built, and I narrowed it down to 5 finalists, and I picked a winner and you'll find out who and what that was on Monday. There's a chap in the chat at the moment who knows who the winner is because he's the winner, and I've excuse me, and I've informed him of the fact, and he's already got his prize. So yes, that's Tuesday's top 5 video. Then on Wednesday, I think this is the start of the rhythm guitar. We did string bends last night on Wednesday. Last night we did string bends last week on the Wednesday, so that was like the last of the viewers' question videos. And we're back into the rhythm guitar stuff. I've got some good stuff coming up in that series, let me tell you. But it's all about sort of 16th note strumming, ballady kind of strumming. Think Wonderwall, that kind of strumming style. And if Wonderwall isn't your thing, don't worry. It's a strumming style that is just pretty much ubiquitous across all forms of medium to low tempo songs. Then on Thursday, I was listening to a podcast the other day. Again, thank you, Spotify. You know how when you listen to stuff on Spotify and it just kind of goes on to something that is, it suggests and thinks that you like. I was listening to a podcast the other day on Spotify, and it followed on from this, and they were asking the question, is rock music dead? And it sort of sparked a train of thought in my head, and you'll find out what that train of thought is on Thursday. Anyway, that's what's coming up on the channel this week. Let me have another slurp of beer. And we're near enough to the halfway mark now. I think it's time to take a look at some viewers' guitars. So let me just navigate to that folder and bring the pictures up on screen. Let's have a look and see what we've got. How do I do this? Yes, it's that one, isn't it? And share screen. And here we go. So the first randomly chosen selection this week is a rather nice Harley Benton. I think this is the SC Custom, isn't it? Sort of Harley Benton's kind of take on like the ESP LTD single cut style guitar. Gorgeous looking guitar, that I've got to tell you, really, really is. And this pair of guitars belong to Chip Young, and what we've got here is a lovely Heartwood acoustic. Aren't Heartwood the Gear for Music kind of factory brand? And I've got to have this picture. I've got to have these pictures for the wall behind me. I'm going to be rearranging that wall behind me a little bit because the you may notice there's a gap where the bass used to be because the hanger is kind of a bit precarious on the wall. The plaster's a bit crumbly, and I'm going to have to start moving the guitars off the wall and get kind of more stands around the room. But I want something to go on the wall. I'm thinking that picture just might be the ticket. And then we've got Dave Lewis's Epiphone SG. For me, an SG You know, it's got to be either cherry red, or it's got to be black, or it's got to be white like this. I am a bit of a sucker for a white guitar. I've got my eye on a white SG Custom at the moment. Epiphone SG Custom. Lovely looking guitar, Dave. Nice one, mate. And another Dave Lewis one. This is his Starcaster that he's modded. He's done all kinds of good stuff to it. It's the thing about the Starcaster is, and this is, the headstock is pretty much the thing that always kind of makes me go, oh, maybe, oh, no, perhaps not. I can't tell you why. It's not that different from the old style Ibanez headstock, really. It's just, if it were a little bit smaller, maybe. But that is a nice looking guitar. I've never played a Starcaster. And I always wonder, does the fact that it is inherently basically a thin line semi-acoustic, a style of guitar that you associate with Gibson, does the fact that it's got a bolt-on neck affect the tone at all? Be interesting to find out. And some David James vintage guitars, a vintage VS6. You see, again, thinking back to Dave Lewis's Epiphone SG, a white one, or I think this is in ebony, isn't it? It looks really, really nice. I had one of these many, many years ago. If you go and dig out a video of mine from about 2009, 2010, where I'm playing it, I had hair back then, when I'm playing a tune called Slapshot. One of my compositions from many, many years ago. That, even though you see me playing loads of different guitars in the video, I was actually miming in the video because it was a music video. It was actually recorded when on the vintage VS6 there, and yeah, I mean that is just that. It's not a Telecaster, is it? Was it vintage V something or other? I forget the designation. Proper, good-looking, solid, bare-bones workhorse guitar. That's what that's got written all over it. Nice one, mate. And Derek Stopperton's Epiphone V, which he's very, very kindly given us all the info on. From March 2005, a 1958 Carina V made in Korea in the Unsung factory, bought in 2008 new, and there's even the serial number. Again, you picture, I say this about Telecasters a lot, you picture a Telecaster in your mind and you think of that sort of blonde or butterscotch thing with like the blackguard, kind of look about it. And that's what you picture when you think of a Telecaster. This is what you picture when you think of a Flying V, that kind of Carina wood with the kind of the what's this bit called where the strings go through the body, that plate, that string plate, let's call it. That to me is just the epitome of a Flying V. If it doesn't look like that, it's not really a proper Flying V for me. And then Gary Shaw, the chap who's in the chat tonight. What a lovely collection of guitars you got there, mate. Oh, you got a Jazzmaster in there as well, but my thoughts on Jazzmasters. And this is a really rather nice looking studio setup you got there, mate. Certainly more comprehensive than mine. And Gary, in case you don't know, is a proper working kind of sideman session guitar player, and these are the tools of his trade. And it's I can't imagine that there's a guitar tone that you would need that isn't available from that collection of instruments. Lovely work, mate. Then we've got a pair of acoustics from Gel Hinks. This is a Guild M120, and this is a Kiso Suzuki 6973, which he says is absolutely rivals his Martin guitar, even though the fact that the top is, shall we say, a little bit precariously attached these days. I love that when a sort of a cheap workhorse guitar survives and just keeps on, despite the fact that it might be a little bit lame on one of its back legs, it still manages to kind of deliver the goods. Fantastic stuff, mate. And Johnny D, his Strat and PRS. Now that PRS there, that's one of the early 90s PRS EG guitars, one of Paul Reed Smith's first attempts to produce like an affordable, I wouldn't say entry level because there weren't entry level price, but like a guitar that didn't kind of cost a king's ransom like the Custom 24 or something like that. Which I guess that guitar is sort of in many ways the forerunner of like the S2 series or even the SE series. And when they first started being released in the early 90s, I can't tell you how much I salivated over one of those. And this is his, this isn't some kind of modern reissue relict job. This is a genuine, I think, what did you say, 73 Strat that's got EMGs loaded into it at the moment. Again, solid, good bones workhorse all written all over that, mate. Then Neil, we're going to be talking about in a moment, some of his guitars, a Jaguar, or if you're of an American persuasion, a Jaguar, an SG. This SG has actually been on the channel. This is the Gibson SGJ, which Neil picked up for around about the same kind of money as a Harley Benton SG. I remember that because that was the title of the video that it was in. Great little guitar, this, great little Gibson SG, that is, as I say, he picked up really, really, for a very good price. And then this lovely Pelham Blue Harley Benton HB 35. What we got next? Another pair of guitars from Neil, his Tanglewood acoustic. And what kind of bass is that? You did put it in the email, but I can't read it. I do apologise. I should label these photos a little bit better. But then Rob Garlicki, here's his guitar. Now, this isn't 4 guitars. This is one guitar that started off like this. This is, I think this is a made in Mexico telly. And then, as you can see, you got a little bit more of an ornate bridge plate. I do like that look actually, and that control plate there. It's got this sort of reminds me. I know it's not the same, but that Waylon Jennings telly. It's got the sort of little bit of that kind of vibe going on about it. Then he sanded the finish off and turned it Pelham Blue and had a tortoiseshell plate on it. And then he decided he didn't like the tortoiseshell plate. Can't imagine why. What's wrong with the tortoiseshell plate? And put like a fake gator skin plate on it there. So that guitar has been through some mods, it has to be said, and looking really rather good. I think I would dial it back to the point where it's got the tortoiseshell plate on it, but that's just me. My tortoiseshell fetish. What's next? Oh, we've got Timbo's kit-built Les Paul. What does it say at the bottom there? Excuse me. Let's just Les Paul style kit built over lockdown. That's actually got quite a nice look to it, hasn't it? A little bit naughty there with the split diamond logo on the top, but I suppose you're never going to look at that and think, oh, that came out of the Gibson factory. So that is this week's dozen or so. How many? I think we did a dozen guitars, kindly sent in by you good chaps for my perusal. What we're going to do with the viewers' guitar section is that all of the parts caster entries that didn't make it into the video that's coming up next week, they're going to get put in the pile for this very section on the live stream, the viewers' guitar thing. But if you want to add to that pile, then you know what to do. Just send me some pictures of whatever guitars you've got. Acoustic, electric, bass. We take all kinds here. Just send the entries to jrguitartuition@gmail.com. It's an easy enough email, JR, John Robson, Guitar Tuition. That's what I do for a living. All one word, JR Guitar Tuition gmail.com. Oh, and there's me phone pinging. The joys of live streaming when you forget to put your phone on silent. What's this all about? Yes, I'll deal with that later. So, excuse me while I just take a swig of my latest flagon of Heineken. Ah, dear me. And where's that gone? Johnny Random. John, did you play your DSL-1 on quiet or full? It depends when I was recording the video, mate. When it was on 1 watt, it used to sound just that little bit raunchier and fuller. And like if it was sort of 11 o'clock in the morning, or 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh, excuse me. Trapped wind. If it was sort of at the civilized hour, is what I'm saying, then I would play it on the 1 watt setting. But if it was, getting on for like 8, 9 o'clock on a night, which is when I sometimes do the YouTube videos, then I thought it was only civilized to kind of knock it down to 0.1 of a watt. It's back working again, actually, the DSL-1. I plugged it in the other day, and that kind of nasty kind of mains hum that it developed, gone completely. It's so there's a video in that somewhere. I'm going to do a comparison between the Blue Guitar Amp 1 and the DSL-1 and basically see if people can tell which is which. The only problem I've got is over here, I've now got a workbench, right? And when I put the workbench in, and that there is the PC that I record onto, right? So basically, the interface for the PC is over here, and the workbench is over here. The DSL-1 used to live next to the workbench, and the big long microphone cable that I used to mic the amp up with goes round the back of the workbench. And then the DSL-1 kind of died on me, or I thought it did, and that microphone cable is still kind of plumbed in round the back there, so it's going to be, and the amp is now living over there, so it's going to be something of a faff around to free up the microphone cable, and I suspect what I'll end up doing is just saying, right, that microphone cable can just stay there, I'll just buy a new one. Let's have a look, see what we got. Stuart Young is saying, will you be checking out the Blue Guitar X when it's released? Not unless somebody kind of offers me a loan of one. I won't, because it's going to be rather pricey, and probably worth the money, it has to be said, if you don't already have the Blue Guitar Amp 1. But it seems to me that the extra features aren't going to be things that I'm going to use. It doesn't seem to be like everything that I've heard about the Blue Guitar Amp X. It's not like, okay, and we've really kind of gone to town on improving the tones. It's just more functionality, and the functions that I wouldn't use. Robbie Stingle jammed with Zach Wilde when he was in high school for 4 months. His real name is Jeff Weedland. I did not know that. Muggs Davis is saying, is Dougal phoning you? No, he kind of does, really. Dougal has his own little kind of chill out space. He's it's a dog crate basically that he, but it's not like a typical sort of, when you think of a dog crate, it's like kind of a wire kind of thing, an iron wire. This is like it's the TV stand downstairs which doubles up as a dog crate. It's you can buy them on Amazon, and it just looks like a TV stand. But when you look closely, the dog's in there, and he kind of chills out in there, and he'll ask to go in, and you just kind of put him in, but he'll occasionally just kind of have a little bit of a whinge and a whine when he's in there. And what he's basically doing is kind of asking for room service. So you've got to throw in like a bonio or a dentist stick or something like that. It's like, kind of, and that usually sort of sorts him out, really. On road again is saying, "Are you going to the curry house tonight, John?" Not tonight, mate. I've done a big batch cook of chicken curry for the freezer, because I do a pretty mean chicken curry. It has to be said. There's even a video on the channel of me showing you the recipe. So I did a big batch cook of that, so we're having that tonight. And also, do you ever practice or play classical music? I listen to classical music a lot. It's maybe there's a top 5 video in that. I think I did one ages ago on the subject. I can't remember because they all sort of meld into one. But I do like to just, if I'm just in a sort of chill out mood, I'll put classical music on, and very fond of Elgar's Enigma variations. Very fond of a bit of Rachmaninoff, Chopin, Beethoven, kind of every now and again. Some of his piano sonatas are quite pleasant. The classical music I can't really get into is the more twiddly Baroque sort of stuff. Robert Forsyth, what are you saying there, mate? Has anybody got thoughts on the Black Star Fly? Great bedroom amp, but does not work in a bigger room. I would just say yes. That's it. It works just as I would rather have a Black Star Fly than one of these, than like the little kind of mini micro amp from Spark. Because with a Black Star Fly, and this is just me being a technophobe dinosaur, it's just got controls on the top that you twiddle until you get a sound that you like. And an amp like that with, a 3-inch speaker, you're never going to get something that's a big room-filling sound, but it is still a pleasant sound. And it's better than playing unplugged. Sean House is saying, you did a top 5 for music without guitars that included some classical. Okay, I knew I'd done something with classical music, so I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me write this down. At some point, there will be a top 5 classical. I'm writing it down. It's going to happen. Which will probably get the square root of bugger all views. The moment I start doing anything that's either jazz related or classical related, that's, it's like, okay, yeah. Okay, that the algorithm doesn't like that video then. And people always kind of stress out about, if I do a video and it doesn't get me any views, it'll harm me in the algorithm. My subs will go down. I do plenty of videos that don't get me many views. Every Monday I put a video out, a solo analysis video that routinely gets, like, in some cases, little more than a third of the views that some of my other videos get, and my subscriber count never goes down. I think what it is, it's if you consistently put out videos that perform badly, YouTube starts thinking, okay, is it really worth promoting your video over this guy's who's going to who we know consistently gets good views? But, I view those Monday solo analysis videos, and to be honest with you, any of the lesson content that I do on YouTube, it's it never seemed those kind of videos never seem to get the traction that like an unboxing or a guitar review or an opinion piece that I'll do. None of the kind of tuition videos seem to perform as well as those. But the tuition videos are out there as my sort of business card, really. It's, because my day job, the thing that I still think of as the thing which essentially pays the mortgage, is, doing guitar lessons. And those videos do kind of get get the phone ringing, but get the email notifications pinging for people, inquiring about lessons. So that's why I do them. What we're saying? Let's have a look. I'm aware that I'm blethering on a lot tonight and missing a load of stuff in the chat. So if you've sent me if you put me a comment in the chat and I've missed it, I do apologise. It's just the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, I don't have an intern like Rick Beato kind of scanning the chat. Johnny D, batch cooked a weapons grade chili yesterday. It's a belter. Yes, what do I tend to batch cook? I do beef casserole, I do curry, I do a good old-fashioned British spag bol, which for those of an international persuasion, spaghetti bolognese. And it's so far, a British spaghetti bolognese is so far removed from any kind of authentic Italian recipe that you can't really call it an Italian food. I do a pretty decent chili and sausage casserole as well. Sausage casserole with cider. That's another great recipe. The cider is the basis of the sauce. Oh, that's a really good one. What we're talking about there in the chat. On road again is saying, cheers, John. Hope you and Dougal have a great weekend. Oh, we will, mate. We will. It's just I'm living the dream, mate. So is he. The only way I could be living the dream any more than Dougal is if I got a regular belly rub. Let's have a look. Strumming Roman is saying the app on the Spark is so effing invasive. I wouldn't want it if they paid me. Yeah, I don't know about invasive, but anything where you've got to start scrolling through an app to kind of I just want to plug in and just kind of turn up the volume and get a tone that I like. I'm a simple lad. I like the Blue Guitar Amp 1. Let's have a look at it. It's switched off at the moment, but you can see it down there on the desk there. From when I kind of do videos when I'm talking about the guitar or whatever, or reviewing guitar, 9 times out of 10, it's basically, it's a 4-channel amp, and I use 1 channel on it, the vintage channel, which is, as I always say, like an old school Marshall Plexi kind of tone. And clean sounds, I just roll the guitar's volume down again. I don't want to be scrolling through many, many, many options and like building a signal chain. Just let me plug in and play, please. Why does it have to be more complicated than that? Let's go back to the chat for the dying moments of the game. Michael Purcell is saying, any thoughts about what to do when the mortgage is paid? Save for pension. Well, okay, I'll share my retirement plan with you. The one big infrastructure kind of headache we have in this house here is that our house windows are absolutely knackered. Literally, we've got sort of weatherproof tape and bathroom sealant keeping the weather out of this house at the moment. And we just don't have the wherewithal to kind of get like a replacement window company to come in. So what we're going to do when the mortgage is done, and I think it's a year and a bit now till the mortgage is done. Once it's done, we're going to basically just pay that mortgage money into a savings account every month until we've got the windows, the money to get the windows done. Then we'll do an equity release, and that'll give us money to hopefully sort out our retirement. If it doesn't, well, I'll just keep on working because like this is, I mean, this is working, right? So am I ever going to retire from this? Ask yourself that. I'll probably take me foot off the gas a little bit. We shall see. That there's other options that we can look into, like, you know, the equity release could probably fund maybe a rental property or something that'll give us an income. And the thing is, me and the missus, I do this for a living, talk rubbish about guitars and do guitar lessons. Something I love doing. Jackie makes jewellery. Something she loves doing. So it's not the kind of thing where, well, why would you want to stop doing something that you love doing if it's, it's not like we have a 9 to 5. Craig Stamen is saying the blue guitar amp is great. I can get a tone as good as my boogie from it. Yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying about that PRS EG guitar that we looked at in the viewers guitars section earlier. In the early 90s, I wanted a Boogie Mark IV and I wanted a PRS EG. And, now it's like, well, I've got the PRS over there, the SE CE24. I loved that S2 standard 24 that I had, and I'm rapidly falling for the CE. This one. Rapidly falling for this. There are going to be some mods done to this, by the way. This guitar, once I've got the money squirreled away for my my upcoming tax bill, that guitar is going to be going to Agrajag for the same treatment as this guitar. It's going to be getting the stainless steel frets in it and everything, and we're going to, absolutely fantastic. Really kind of enjoying that, despite the fact that it's got the racing pigeons on the neck. The PRS SECE standard 24 satin, whatever it is, great guitar. If you're wanting just a good workhorse guitar that does a great mix of single coil and humbucker tones, effortless to play, and a trem that stays in tune, pretty much bulletproof, just get one of those. They're fantastic. Anyway, let's have what you're saying there, Cylon Hybrid. No equity release. They sell on your loan and later and want it back or put. Not sure what you mean there, mate. You're obviously advising me against equity release. We shall see. Nothing's written in stone yet. Triple still likes the pigeons. They are, some people love them, some people hate them. At the end of the day, I've learned to kind of to be a little bit more mature about it. It's a fretboard inlay, nothing more. I do prefer just plain dots, though, it has to be said. Mark Kerno will retire after 30 years public service next summer, but will get another part-time job. Good for you, mate. Good for you. And on that note, I've got that much beer left. And there it is gone. And we're 59 and a bit minutes in, and Steve Cassidy's video goes out shortly, so I'll let you all kind of go and recharge your glasses and go and watch Steve's video. What I'm saying, chaps, is that's it for this evening. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern bloke talk absolute cobblers for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.